Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast in this series aligned to the LabZtorm Impact v.3. This is an audio podcast aligned to research and works that in around research surrounding nephrology, in around and focusing on nephrology and what, if any, are the healthcare educational needs for patients with chronic kidney disease or CKD. This is an audio podcast aligned to another storm robotics blockade and aligned to and an audio podcast aligned to another storm robotics production. This audio podcast will provide sort of a basis in around the sort of data storage, the data storage or data protection, data storage or data protection, the GDPR 2018 and aspects aligned to that, and also aligned to sort of the privacy aspects around this research. So in around this, aspects aligned to data storage, or data protection, and GDPR 2018, and sort of the privacy aspects. All data retrieved from telephone interviews sought to be stored using using sort of software during and after analysis. Software was installed on a password protected sort of computer in a particular, as part of a particular on particular sort of academic grounds, and all information participants provided was confidential and used for purposes of this research, and only used for the purposes to investigate and sort of delve into the sort of research question. The data was collected and stored in accordance with the GDPR 2018, where GDPR is inferred as the General Data Protection Regulation of 2018, and where I'm sure where listeners will probably be aware, for example, that GDPR 2018 replaces the Data Protection Act, or the Data Protection Act from 1988, and at the same time, where in accordance with GDPR 2018, and any unnecessary data at the time in line with this research was disposed of in a secure way, and in a secure manner. Data, especially for example, any paper copies in around the data collection, were only accessed by those on the research team, and all participant data had been collected outside the academic site. All participant data that had been collected outside from academic grounds, or and was sort of housed on a secure server, with firewall protection, with firewall sort of protection as well. So this ends this closes this audio podcast in around the sort of data protection or data storage at the GDPR 2018 and some aspects in line to the privacy in around this research. An audio podcast in following this will seek to look into the sort of the topic guides, the telephone interviews, the schedules and the support in surrounding aspects pertaining to this research. So this closes this audio podcast in line to the sort of data protection aspects. This has been an audio podcast surrounding the LabZtorm impact, as part of the LabZtorm impact v.3 series, and aligned to research surrounding nephrology. What, if any, are the healthcare education needs for patients with chronic kidney disease, CKD? And this has been an audio podcast aligned to a storm robotics blockade and another storm robotics production. Thank you.